to the Healing Hour, and I'm your host, Tyhson Banighen. I don't know, maybe the Mystic Guru, Poopa. But anyway, I'm with you for the next hour to help you get from where you are to where you want to be, release some trauma, take back your personal power, stand in your truth, deliver your awesome gifts to the world. If that's you and you want some help, then give us a phone call. It's toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. The number's on your screen. And here's my lovely co-host, Kory Varlen, who is a world famous astrological, I was going to say demon, but that's really not the right word. But let's see now, astrological wizard. Wizard at the dress. There she is. She's a wizard at the dress. And she's
Hi, Tyhson.
Yeah, hi. So you're going to talk about all sorts of energy, right? Dude, through the full moon, which I got to say was absolutely gorgeous from my bedroom window. I've designed my house so I always see the full moon. It's really important to me. I want full moon in my face. So when I wake up, there's the full moon. I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's me anyway. Over to you.
Well, yes, we've just come out of the full moon, which was across the very last degree of Leo and Aquarius. So all you Leos and Aquarians out there, if you've wondered why your life is just all of a sudden lit up, it's because that's what happens when we have a full moon. So all those Leos born at in the middle of August, and all the Aquarians born in the middle of February, if you wonder why your life is lit up, that's the full moon. But right now, what's even more important, and I'm just so glad, we're now in the time of Virgo. So the sun has crossed over into the zodiac sign of Virgo. So what does this mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Well, I'm just thrilled to tell you that, first of all, I love the sign of Virgo. Virgo, like all zodiac signs, has been caricaturized, and there's some very ridiculous concepts associated with Virgo, and some of them are really kind of like, well, they just really don't fit. But actually, a lot of them do, but it's just because they're frustrated, and there's no sign worse than a Virgo frustrated. So what I want to share with people today is what we are in store for, all of us.
We're all going to be
all of us. So you don't have to be a Virgo to imbibe in the Virgo vibe, because this is the energy that is now permeating our earthly Taurus, the actual Taurus, the Taurus energy around the earth, which is called the Taurus, is being influenced now by the star patterns from Virgo. And Virgo is really a wonderful energy because it's about health and beauty and efficiency. And so we all now get this opportunity to find more health, more efficiency, and more beauty in our lives. And so if you are a Virgo, if you're born today, right up until September 22nd, you are a card-carrying Virgo.
Okay.
Now, some of you may have a moon in Virgo, unbeknownst to you, and some of you may have a Virgo ascendant, some of you may have Venus in Virgo. So I'm very happy to show you that. If you do book a session, you'll find out very quickly how much Virgo you're carrying. But what I do want to say is that for all of us right now, we need to recognize the good that we're doing in the world and in our little world, because there's nothing more frustrating than to have a Virgo around you that does not feel like they're contributing to making either the world or themselves better, Tyhson.
It seems to me that a Virgo would do well to find a group of like-minded people so that it doesn't feel so frustrated and lonely. Does that make any sense?
Yes, and because Virgos are truly, they have this, again, they have this sort of image that they're after perfection, and they're not. They're just trying to make things better. And from a car mechanic to a nurse to a jewelry designer, these people all have this energy of Virgo, of trying to make things more beautiful and more efficient, and just trying to get things working better. So all of us right now, and for the next 30 days, have an opportunity somewhere in your life. I beg you, anyone listening, please I beg you, find a way to make your life better, more efficient,
Yes.
so that you can work better.
I think that's really important. That just means that I need to make sure that my web person is a Virgo because I want to make it better. I mean, I can help them, but making things better and smooth, making systems and putting them in place is really important. And of course, that's what we do here is the deep clearing protocol, which is a system to clear yourself up, get yourself through your trauma and out the other side, right? So that's really making it
Yeah.
making it more efficient.
And I usually don't like to use this word fix, you got to fix yourself, because the Virgo energy is all about fixing. And that's why, it's such a great time right now to do repairs, because you can literally, call in the plumber or just, get under the sink and try to fix something. Because Virgos are really good at fixing things. And so if there is a part of your little psyche soul that you feel needs improvement, just, step on the gas. Now's the time to do it. Call up a healer, an astrologer, call up Tyhson, call up anybody.
Call us right now. We have a toll free number. Just call us right now. Never mind later.
Yeah, right.
639-7464. I guess I better make sure my phone is on. It's been ringing all day long, and it'd be terrible if it wasn't ringing now.
Right.
Like, wow, I don't know who gave away my phone number to everybody in the world.
So one of the wonderful things I love about Virgos is that they may be philosophical, they may be spiritual, but down deep, they're just these really practical, honest, hardworking people that just say, screw it, this has got to work. And if it doesn't work, there's something wrong.
And I'm going to make it work.
And so Virgos are just so good at just the practical necessities of life. Getting a job, paying the bills, making sure the kids are picked up, after school. Virgos are the best at doing all of this stuff. They just want order.
Well, I just need a few Virgos in my life because, Mr. Lieber can be a little waffly and really needs that Virgo energy, particularly in my academy, to get things so it runs smooth like velvet. And everybody has an amazing opportunity to take extraordinarily good courses, right? That are life-altering, right? Well, that's important.
And that absolutely work. And one of the things that I love about the work I do is that I have Virgo at the very top of my chart. So the part of my chart that deals with my calling, my profession, I have Virgo up there, even though I'm a Taurus. Yeah. I have Virgo at the top of my chart. And I always tell my clients, it's you get way more than you ever pay for. I always tell people, because I'm a Taurus, you should feel like you've got a spiritual massage after I get finished with you. You have to feel like everything is really much more, tuned up and efficient, because that's the Virgo energy coming through the area that deals with my profession. So everyone has Virgo somewhere in their chart.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure if I have Virgo anywhere in my chart. If it's in my chart, I can't find it. Let's put it. It needs to be accentuated, right? You, Virgo, where are you in my chart?
Well, actually, Tyhson, I think you have Virgo where I have Virgo, because you have a Sagittarius ascendant, right?
Yeah.
And I have a Scorpio ascendant. So Virgo is very high up in your chart, just like mine. Oh. So very high up in your chart is Virgo. So you have a very similar energy about, really giving people a real plan for their life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's the plan for the academy I need. Never mind the plan for their life and my life. No, the technology, we're trying to get that reined in, right? And so that really is that, that precision that you're talking about, that Virgo energy of really, having somebody this is going to work and make it work, right?
Yeah, and I actually think it's kind of like what you're doing. I love the word protocol. You've got really great protocols, right?
Yeah.
And I do too. When I do a session for someone, there's a checklist in my mind that I go through. It's I'm going to hit these 20 points with this person. And whether they've paid for a half an hour up, what's called an update. Once you have a session with me, you can book half-hour sessions. And if not, when you book the fuller session, it's 90 minutes. But I still go through my checklist. There's 20 things I'm going to clear with this person before they get off the phone or the Zoom call with me.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it's really important to have a protocol to move through from A to B. Protocols make your life shorter. That's what dowsing is all about, is protocols and dowsing And then once you have a protocol in your conscious mind and you do it enough, then it becomes a subconscious protocol. And that's what you want. You don't want to have to think your way through everything. You want it to be spontaneous. You want it to be enlightening, so that you have just comes to you in a blinding flash without having to go through this huge long protocol. You go, oh yeah, that's what I need to do. So protocols is a way of what I might say, short circuiting the long list of things that you need to remember to do or whatever. So that's why people sometimes just get up and they just follow a sequence, even though they're half asleep, right? Brush my
Right, because we know it's like we know the practical things that start our day. Like we know that, this is what I just do, and you kind of go on automatic. And one of the things that's interesting in the world right now is, especially with what's happening in Afghanistan, is people are really getting into this sense like things just have to start working properly now. And people are getting really pissed off because things aren't as efficient as they were told, right? I mean, people were lied to. And one of the things that Virgo hates, they absolutely hate, like you can't fool a Virgo. And so it's a really interesting time we're living in now, because you can't be fooling people anymore because they know what's going on. So this is going to be actually a very interesting prelude to the Libra time, when the Libran politicians will start actually making changes.
It's interesting, in the whole Mayan calendar, this, and particularly as it was taught to me, my Ian Lungold, who's passed over on the other side, he said, this is the time the truth will be revealed. And it truly is being there. All the shadows are having light shone upon them. It's really hard as a politician or as a government official or from anybody in power to really play the, pull the wool over people's eyes. The truth is being revealed, that the emperor has no clothes, right?
Yeah, it's anyways, it's just, again, I just want to really underscore the fact that no matter what's going on in your life and no matter how many improvements you still need to get happening in your life, just take a moment to recognize the good that's happening in your life today. Like, for whatever's going to happen down the road, okay, come see, come saw, who knows, quién sabes. But just recognize the improvements that have already happened for you.
Right. And I would say, if you're still not satisfied, I know when I have a frustrating day, I just got to go, and I haven't done this for a while, go to my workshop and fix something. I got to get something fixed. I don't care what it is. It could be a hammer handle. It could be whatever. I just got to have something that I fix and then make it work, and then I feel better. So that's
perfect. And keep doing that, Tyson, every day. Take a little part of something in your life, whether it's reframing a picture, hanging a picture, moving a rack around, anything, and just
fix it.
Yeah, just make something more functional. That's so important. Make something more beautiful and more functional in your life.
That's really what that must have been pre-Virgo energy, because that's been happening here. Right from every room in this house has been like, I know, Virgoized, if there's such a word, right? Virgo, not Virgoized.
Right. Well, I think we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. There's always underlying conditions, that are moving through. And we have had planets in Virgo now for a while. And so this has been going, this has been happening through most of August, because Mars and Mercury have moved into Virgo. And so they've been setting the tone for that.
I was doing a workshop with the Seraphim Angels, learning how to run Seraphim Angel energies. And part of the discussion was there's a whole series of courses on planetary washes. And they were talking about the power of the energy of all of the different planets. And they came to Jupiter, and I thought, I learned about Jupiter on the show. And they were talking about the energies of the spirits, or the energies of Jupiter. It was really fascinating. So, these planets all are living beings. They all have energy.
Absolutely right. And I'm just checking my ephemeris as of July the 22nd. That's when Venus started moving through Virgo. And so this energy of functionality and efficiency began around that last week of July, and then it's just been ticking right along through all of August, because then by the very last couple of days of July, Mars moved into Virgo. So Mars has been really pushing through Virgo again, Mars is energy, and it's where we get our sense of courage. And so a lot of people have definitely been cleaning out the basement. Remember that lady I told you that found the Gucci bag?
Not just the basement, my God, the attic too, right?
Yes, from top to bottom.
Top to bottom. So, and me too, from my top to bottom too. Yeah, it really is a time of really, and my clients, they're being busted loose right, left, and center too. Like people are really ready and willing to give up their shit. Yeah, just to let it go.
Yeah. And what I love about it is, again, it's really pulling in beauty. And if you get on this beauty bandwagon, I love that beauty bandwagon.
That stuff, yeah.
You know, once we enter the time of Libra, wow, we'll just be like totally revved up and ready to shift into third and fourth gear.
We're gonna be love bunnies, all of us, right?
Yeah. So definitely, life is better when you focus on the practicality of your life right now. Like,
so when does Virgo crescendo, or does it? Like, where is it? Like, we're coming up to the apex, aren't we? Or
no, we're just starting because the sun just moved into Virgo on Sunday, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So as you know, the sun moves, like we take a trip around the sun in a year, right? And so the zodiac is just our awareness of the sun moving across the sky, and we just, chop that into 12 pieces. Right. So all the stars behind our sun, which is a star, as I told you, they all have stories, and that's how I created my cards. Because every day the sun is tracking along the zodiac, and it moves 1 degree per day. So that's why a circle is 360 degrees, and we have a 365-day year, right?
So the sun is just hanging out with new friends every day.
And so every day the sun moves about 1 degree along what we call the ecliptic, which is the path that we see the sun moving along. Right. And so this is, those are the stories of the sky, and they all have energy. And yeah, so I'm not going to reveal my card today, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it.
No. I mean, that's not fair. You just even brought it up.
I know, but I want to show you the beautiful, beautiful colors of the Virgo deck.
Wow, look at that. And so
it's chocolate. This is chocolate.
Pull it back a little bit because it's too close. Inspiration, tweaking, chaos, one day at a time. Well, yeah, that's what we're doing on this show.
So this is the beautiful chocolate deck. So I really encourage people to get the Virgo deck. It's actually my favorite color. The lady who designed all of the art is an incredible artist, and every time I look at the beautiful cards, I think of her. But this is my chocolate deck.
Well, I like the other one. The other ones look like blueberries. They look like the blueberries that are ripe in our garden.
Right.
We just had blueberry up-down cake yesterday, and it was incredible, right? Blueberries everywhere. I love the color of blueberries. They're just really luscious. Yummy.
Oh, well, that's my Pisces deck. My Pisces deck looks like blueberries.
Okay. All right. So this one is chocolate, is it?
Chocolate, yes. So guys, it's time to make things better. If you take away anything from today's show, it's time to make things better.
Right. So why don't you phone in, right? Isn't this time your time to make things better? Just phone in, toll free in North America. It's awfully quiet out there. 1-866-369-7464. Don't be shy. We haven't lost anybody on one of these calls yet, and I'm sure you won't be the first. So phone in and find out, when your magic 3 moon days are. And by the way, I'm just finishing those off, and it was really the first time that I ever really had it on my calendar so I could pay attention to it. And boy, I got a lot of stuff done. Like a lot of things just moved into energy.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, mine's coming up because I'm born in the 3rd quarter phase of the moon, and we're still in the full moon phase. So my time is coming.
Your time is coming. Yeah, I found it very helpful because I thought, wow, it's all this energy. Oh yeah, let's get her done. Let's get her done, right?
Yeah, no, they really work. I absolutely tell people, it's like, especially before COVID, it's like when you go out with your friends and everybody wanted to go out for steak or whatever, and you wanted sushi. And if it was your 3-day power day, it's like, guess what? Everybody goes out for sushi.
All right.
Because it's your power just manifesting right through everybody. So it's cool.
So if you want to know what your 3 days are, then there's one lady on this call named Kory that can help you figure that out. And knowing those 3 power days is really, really important. Guess what? You get to do that once a month, have those 3 days in which you can get really get things done. You can really be, what would you say, the emperor and empress of your kingdom on that day, and you get to rule the roost, so to speak, and get things done. And what could be better than that, eh? That's
Yeah, no, and
that's second fiddle on
yeah,
those.
it's kind of like in psychology. It's like this. It's kind of like a gestalt energy. It's like everything starts coming together,
Right.
and sometimes not. Sometimes it isn't so great for people. Sometimes people who are really having a hard time. It's like you really see yourself, you meet yourself, and like you go, holy crap, I have got to start shifting something here, because everything just comes together again. It's like you
Right.
meet yourself, full on in these 3 power days. And so a lot of times people call up and they go, holy crap, things are falling apart. And I go, great. I'm so happy to hear that.
Right. So this is the good back, either the good, bad, or the ugly gets accentuated in those 3 days, right?
Well, you meet yourself, Tyson. You meet yourself. And like not everybody, we're not totally together yet, right?
Yeah, looking in the mirror sometimes can be really scary.
Well, I have a lot of clients who will call and they book sessions and they're really depressed, like they're really going through hell.
Right.
And I tell them, I'm so glad that's exactly what you're supposed to be going through. And it's kind of like they get a little taken aback, and then they go, oh, well then it's okay that I'm depressed. And I go, yes, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
That's right. Just don't stay there. Don't set up a tent and camp there.
Exactly. Yeah. You need to feel it, like Dr. Phil used to say. You have to feel it to heal it. And part of that feeling it is naming it. And you have to name. We talked about this in one of my talks here. You have to name what's going on with you before you can change it.
So let's talk about a little bit of what we're planning to maybe do, and maybe we can get some excitement out there. We've been thinking about doing a part of this show is behind the curtain, where we allow people that are watching the show, and if you're watching the show and we know that you're watching the show, one of the people watching the show will get to have a session with both of us. And we'll do that immediately after the show. This is what we're thinking, and we'll bust you loose. So if you're one of these people that's listening to the show and you subscribe for Behind the Curtain, which allows you to actually even come and join us on Zoom, then you're right there willing and able to be chosen to be the one that has this unique opportunity at the end of the show to have a session with us. So
that's right. And I really think that's the model that we need to go to, because I see so many really wonderful podcasters and people like ourselves, Tyson, who are hosting shows now. And we need to be supported by our communities, and we need their help. And there's no shame in asking for that, because they're going to get quality information. And I'm thinking definitely of, contributing my time as an astrologer to giving someone a very in-depth, even if it's like a 5-minute, session. And that's something that's, I think, is going to be very valuable for whoever we choose. Yeah. But you have to come on the paid subscription section of our show.
Paid subscription, you have to be on the show. Those are the two things, right? And then you have to be chosen.
That's right. And what I'm thinking of doing is, we'll draw a name from our subscriber base. And of course, you have to be listening, because if you're not listening, how can you come on Zoom and get a healing and an astrology update? So I think we've got something really cool that we can start developing here.
Yeah, it sounds like and people get really, really a lot for their money, so that's great. And of course, we'll also know we have somebody in the academy doing all of the web. We can make sure that all of these past shows, because these shows are really instructive. If you listen to these shows sequentially, you will have over a period of years, you will understand a lot about astrology and moon cycles and a lot of information that would be very valuable for you and your clients. So really, in these shows, embedded is a lot of information that can be very helpful for you.
Yes, I really agree, because I'm at a stage in my life where I've been studying astrology for more than 50 years, longer than that. But I've been doing sessions. Do you know my very first job when I was 19 was teaching at a community college. I was teaching astrology because I didn't know it at the time, but I moved into a house, and my next door neighbor was the top professional astrologer in Western Canada. And I was 19 years old when she got me teaching astrology. So I've been doing professional sessions since I was 19 years old.
Yeah, I think the session was when I came out of the womb and asked my mother, what the hell am I doing here? But yeah, so I've been doing this for a long time too. So yeah, so between us, you're going to get, we don't want to think in terms of years of experience, but you're going to get a lot of attention with a lot of wisdom coming your way. So it'll be well worth your time to sign on and become part of the in crowd to have that experience. So yeah, so we'll be setting that up. We'll be working on the text and getting that ready. And so stand by. In the meantime, it's all free, and it will continue to be free for those that just want to, do a fly-in by phoning and have an opportunity to work with us. So I don't know.
And Tyson, I don't know even if I don't think you know this yet, but I actually can even put your chart, your natal chart on a map of the world and tell you the best places in the world for love and romance, for creativity, for education, for inspiration. Like, we can do that now. I mean, astrology has really come of age. And so if you are, when we do get our subscriber base going, that will also be available to anyone calling in who gets the luck of the draw. I can put your chart on a map and instantly tell you, like, where you might want to be living, where you might want to be vacationing, and even more importantly, where you shouldn't be vacationing, or where you shouldn't be living.
And not only that, right down to the level of where should you live, because I can dowse and say, well, that is not the block and that's not the house. Or you can give me 6 houses. I don't even need to know. You just need to number them off. I'll tell you which one you are aligned with. And I can then even help you. Well, if you're in love with house number 3 and it's not aligned with you, I can actually clear the house and you so there is an alignment. So we can do all sorts of things. We can clear your office. We can clear your backyard. We can help your garden. There's so many things. So we combining astrology, dowsing, and energy healing that we can do. It's just, it's unlimited. Let's put it that way. I think it's safe to say it's unlimited.
And one of the things that I love about our show is I used to do a lot of radio shows in my 30s and 40s. And wherever I would go, I would just go on, get on the radio. I just love, I lived 10 years in South America and I used to do shows in Spanish all throughout Ecuador and Colombia. And I just loved it. And it gave people an opportunity to really talk to the real thing, because there's so many charlatans out there. There's so many people that are just so full of what, and they're just trying to pull the wool over people's eyes, and they're in it for the money. And I just go, well, I'm just trying to give people a sense of what real astrological help, what that can do for someone, how it can really just help you get centered and kind of on your way.
Yeah, help you get on your way, help you get out of your way and on your way.
I love that. Out of your way sometimes, yes, even more important.
And on your way. I'm going to write that down. I like that. Out of your way and on the way.
Yes. Yeah, because one of the reasons why people have always talked to astrologers is we just give you like a good counselor. We give you different perspectives. In fact, even counselors don't do that, because a lot of my clients are therapists and they're not even allowed to make these kind of suggestions. Whereas I'm so glad I'm an astrologer and not a therapist, because I actually can give people, a perspective on where, it's kind of like in Vegas. It's like, here's your chance at the roulette wheel, try this, try that.
Yeah, my whole forte is just, let's get this junk that's in the way out of your way. So, you can show them what sort of energies are possible for them to work with, and then we can use that energy of wherever they are in their chart to really bust through whatever needs to be done in that moment. And so I think putting the two together is going to be extremely powerful for people.
Yeah, well, it's like we give them, we increase their odds, right? We just increase their odds of winning.
Yeah, absolutely. You too can play the roulette of life by joining us, right?
Yeah, like there are times, and I happen to know this because I'm an astrologer, there are times when I just sort of shut down and, I don't book any sessions with clients because I know I'm not at my best. And I don't book any sessions for people. And I wait until my own rhythms are really clear and I'm feeling inspired, and then it's like boom, you know, I get really, really busy.
You're
But I
making,
don't, you know, I don't worry about those downtimes anymore.
you're making me laugh because of my last client. I told her to sit down, shut up, stop thinking, and if she has any doubts, meditate. And she's a writer, highly intellectual, and always in her head. Of course, I was talking to myself too, right? To shut up, sit down, relax, you know, and let go and meditate because we get so busy, busy, busy. So again, knowing your astrological chart and knowing that your destiny in this moment is not to push harder like a bull in a china shop. Maybe just go for a walk or just take a break. And I think for some of us that are addicted to work, knowing that this is the moment to stop gives us that little nudge that we actually can do it, right?
Yeah.
So that hammock out there in the garden must be the loneliest hammock on the planet because I haven't been in it all summer. And now,
I want to come and hang out in your hammock, Tyson. I love hammocks.
yeah, you can be a hammock trainer, right? All right, time to get in a hammock, right?
Yeah. Well, Tauruses love hammocks and fields of grass
Yes.
to roll in.
Yes.
Well, one of the beautiful things about the work I do is I kind of do it's kind of a two-punch approach. Like I give you the core meaning of what's happening, and I encourage you to have the experiences associated with that meaning. Like I'm saying today, the core meaning of Virgo, what is it? It's being efficient, it's being healthy, it's being functional. And now what am I saying? Get out there and have some experiences that invoke the core meaning of Virgo.
Right. In other words, don't be shy. This is not the time to be in the hammock.
No, this is time to get very involved in making your life better.
Well, what does that mean? Yeah, right. Yeah.
Better.
Oh, better. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, I wondered how to spell. Yeah, true. But much better. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently we have 11 listeners out there. So, 11 listeners could maybe be part of the first group of the behind the curtain, and maybe that's not the right name, but I sort of like that, because everybody, well, I certainly in the days of rock and roll, everybody wanted to have a backstage pass, right? Everybody wanted to go meet the guys, right? Or the girls. So yeah, so maybe the backstage pass is really the right term. But anyway, the inside crowd, right? And where you get to have special treatment, the VIP lounge, right? Where you can fly high.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I can see that really picking up once we get into the, your time, the Libran time, because people really do, when Venus goes through Libra, well, Venus is in Libra right now. And when Venus goes through Libra, people do tend to spend more money because they like to have things that are beautiful around them because it reinforces their own internal beauty.
I like that because I'm going to be relaunching all of my certification courses. So yeah, so if you're out there and you'd like to know how to dowse and be an energy healer, a master, or if you'd like to be a master exorcism of possession to get rid of all the baddies, or maybe you would like to be certified in distant healing. And my favorite of all is maybe Earth Wisdom Geomancy. How would you like to learn how to work with the angelic and the elemental kingdoms to clean up planet Earth of all the human induced trauma? How would you like to help people live in very safe and loving homes, properties? How would you just like to make this a nicer planet to live on? So I love that course really a lot. So all those courses are about to be relaunched again in the middle of next month in Libra energy to do the next go round for the year. So stay tuned.
Right. Stay tuned, everybody. Stay tuned. And meanwhile, go and fix something in your home environment.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Go hang some curtains, hang a curtain.
Yeah.
Straighten out the picture.
Yeah.
And clean up your don't say that. Clean up your office if I look around.
No, definitely. No, Virgo has, of course, one of, like I was saying earlier, one of the caricatures of Virgo is this thing about cleanliness, right? Like Virgo is into like health, of course. And so some people can be a phobia almost, with some people, right? Like they vacuum 3 times a day. But truly, it is a great time to, clean up your house. And if you clean up one area of your house, what you'll find is that you'll start feeling internally that you're kind of cleaning things
Yeah,
up.
the last room in this house is my office. And the only thing I can say that makes me feel somewhat good is I've looked at pictures of Einstein's office, and mine looks a lot like his, right? So I'm feeling fairly good about it. But I am scared of this woman whose name is Darlene. I'm saying, all right, it's time to do the office. So they're going to go, oh, because it's going to be, well, it'll be a cleansing experience.
Yes. And I think in line with that, Tyson, you might want to pick into that book by that wonderful Japanese woman, Marie Kumbi. She's the one that wrote the book about sparking joy and how, when you touch things, you should feel joy. And if something does not give you joy, you need to thank it and let it move out of your life.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of that lately. A lot of things have been playing out of this house. I think Michael and Darlene have been doing more recycling and trips to the whatever and the dump than than ever before. So yeah, we're not finished yet. You got a ways to go, but a good start, right? And the interesting thing, it must be like in the air or in the science, because a lot of people I know are doing exactly the same thing.
Well, and now it's the energy that permeates the torus field around the earth.
Yeah.
We are in this time period right now when the sun tracks through Virgo. It's just been laid down, like even if you don't believe in that, it's like there's a psychic energy that the entire planet can pick up on, which have these what we call astrologers call Virgo, characteristics. The core meaning of Virgo around, and everyone can tap into this, which is why, when I offer my cards and every day has a special energy, this is the energy that you can literally, drive it's like you're driving a car, you're driving yourself using this key sort of GPS. And this GPS is pushing you towards what's the most functional and the most efficient and the most rewarding thing you can do every day. And today, and for the next 28 days, we're in the time of Virgo. So clean up your act. This is what it's all about.
I just had another idea for behind the scenes, behind the curtain, or the backstage pass is every day you on the call you can reveal your card, right, to that group.
That's true. Yes, that's true. Because my cards are. When you go to my website, my cards are $25 when you buy each deck. But if you buy the entire series, they drop to $20 per deck. So the idea is you buy all 12 decks and eventually the entire year is covered. So when you're going through every zodiac period, like we're in the Virgo period now, what's going on, like what to function. You know what to focus on so you can function.
That's right. Your function focus for the day, right?
Yeah.
Your funky focus, your function.
I mean, so many people wake up in the morning and they kind of like, well, what's going on today? What's happening? I don't know. Well, you don't have that problem if you have my cards. You know what's going on today.
That's right. The calling card for the day.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think that's a great idea. So that we'll be revealing that as part of the whole thing too. And and if you're smart enough, well, of course, we'll be marking like crazy that you buy all of the decks, so not just every Monday, but until you're ready to do that, that would give you Monday, and then every Friday, Kory's posting it over on, where are you posting it anyway?
I just do these funny little 1-minute videos on Instagram on Fridays, so people can hear my little spiel about the card for that particular Friday.
All right, so we'll have that for you too. We'll actually have those. There'll be, well, I guess that won't work because that would be either the Friday before or the Friday after. So, well, maybe that would work. Give you the beginning of the week and the end of the week. So yeah. That's will be part of what we're going to include as well. And so I'm really excited to get started with people. And I think we've never worked together except on this show with clients. So you're going to have a really amazing experience because you're going to get 2 for 1, right? And you're not even going to pay for it. Well, you got to pay for it, But when you think about what is good, I normally charge $250 an hour to do what I do. And so I don't come cheap. So you're going to get a really, high price.
Well, people will definitely get their money's worth, Tyhson, because we're in it. You and I are in this to make the world a better place. And as I've said many, many times, I didn't get into this to become rich. I got into this because, as I just revealed to everyone, I have Virgo at the top of my chart. So I'm really interested in making, things function better and work better. And, Virgo is not a big, big spiritual sign. It's not. It's just about, let's just get down to business and let's just make things work. And because when things work, things are beautiful.
So
life is beautiful when things are working well, right?
Absolutely. So I have a question for you. I have a lot of young Chinese women who have befriended me lately, and they're in their 30s, 40s, and they're all entrepreneurs and they're all business women. So I've been really curious about it. It's all like, and I shouldn't be saying this, but it's almost like cookie cutting in the sense that there's this energy. So this leads me to believe that certain astrological signs have certain influences over different countries. That must be is that when they were created, or how does an astrological sign relate to a country? Because I'm pretty darn sure it would.
Yes, for instance, Canada and the United States were both, shall we say, like incorporated?
Yeah, or whatever, yeah.
Founded in the month of July, right? And so both of our nations are Cancerian nations.
Oh, okay.
So it's based on the founding date. Think of it like an incorporation date.
Yeah, so I guess with the Chinese, well, that would be really hard. Which regime do we?
Yeah, right. We have to go back thousands of years.
6,000 years of of I Ching astrological science.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
But I guess the certain modern one we would know, which would be, I would think that they're under the influence of whenever the freeing up of being able to do entrepreneurship in China, because that was a new liberation.
Yeah.
So that would probably be their birthday, because it's amazing and fun to work with them and talk with them because they are so good at this. They're Virgo in the sense of business, management, investments, everything, the whole world is seen through that lens, right?
Yeah.
Very, and crystal clear lens, right, of organization. Yeah. Which is not.
No, that's interesting. Yeah. So whenever there's a big regime shift, you could certainly do a chart for that time period. Yeah. No.
So every time there's a major shift in the Gestalt or in the paradigm, then we have which comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? The paradigm shift is as a result of an astrological shift. But yeah, so that's interesting. As the energy changes, so does whatever the energy on the planet.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter like what you call it. It's just astrology is just one system that can give an overlay. It's a perspective, and that's why people use astrologers. It gives them a different perspective on, like, we have a different vocabulary that we use, and we have just a different way of saying, hey, this is what's happening now, and take it or leave it, but I'm giving you a different overlay of your life or your country or, your husband or your kid. And then you do with that what you want. It's like just giving you more, and more tools to use.
That are on the show, if you really want to learn more about how is the difference, how is an astrological paradigm worldview or Gestalt, whatever words you want, different than a scientific rational one, I've created a 13-part series on that very topic, which is really, really enlightening and well worth you participating in. And it's available to download or watch all 13 in a series with Michael O'Connor, who's a very good astrologer and helps people a little differently than Kory, because every astrologer has a certain focus. And his drumbeat was really how more inclusive it is to have an astrological reading than trying to figure things out from a scientific, rational point of view. So it's a great series for background and understanding a little bit more about why astrology is so more holistic in its worldview than the current reigning paradigm of rational scientific proof system. So anyway, take a look at that series. It's well worth a look, right?
Well, what I love about what we're doing, Tyhson, is the mystical approach to me transcends everything, because as you know, with the way we think, we can monkey mind ourselves into insanity. And that's what we have done. We have created insanity on the planet because people are not listening to their hearts, they're not listening to their spirits, and they're certainly not listening to their guides and their angelic beings who are always there for us. You know, but for the lack of, maybe it's knowledge, maybe people don't know about this, maybe people don't, you know, even attempt to reach out. But okay, today the moon's in Pisces, so I just really, you know, wish for everybody just to really trust and believe today, if only for today. Trust and believe that there are other dimensions and realms that are just as real as this one, and all we have to do is reach out, and they are there to help us.
Yeah, so the big message for today is the same one for my client. If you're in doubt, sit down, shut up, tune in, get some guidance, because it's going to be crystal clear today. It really is. The only thing that's in the way right now for most people is the brain, myself included, that we think we know what's happening. And the secret to all of this, at this time of major transformation, personal and planetary, is to get crystal clear guidance. Because if you get clear guidance, you'll be in the right place at the right time, and there's nothing to worry about. So turn off that TV, stop listening to the radio, be still with inside, go within, and you'll have the answer. The next logical step for you, whatever it is in your life, will become crystal clear. It's just that simple. But no, we want to make it complicated. We want to get into our heads and figure things out. Anyway, that's sort of like a Virgo type message for today from Tyhson.
That's wonderful. And that's a wonderful segue into this thought I just had, Tyhson, which is using the power of Virgo. Virgo is fantastic at dissection and analysis, absolutely the best. And so one of the things that I have learned to do is ask good questions. Right. And when you ask a question, it's like the universe is just waiting for you to formulate that question, because immediately you will start to get answers. And especially if you do, as you're saying, you know, shut up, turn off the phones, and, you know, like literally unplug all of the electronic stuff. I absolutely unplug my internet at night. I just unplug it all and just formulate the question, and either go into meditation or formulate the question before you go to bed. Usually when you wake up in the morning, you've got a little tinkling, winkling feeling that something's stirring in there. The answer is trying to come through.
Yeah, I do have a switch that somebody created where I can turn all of my electronics off in the living room.
Yeah.
The only thing is starting everything back up. But I think that's really a good idea that I'm going to do, is have the whole night be electronically free to the full extent that one can possibly do.
Can you unplug your router, your internet? Yeah, that's what I do. I just unplug it all.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that difference right away.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially if you're an empath and you're EMF sensitive, and all empaths are, by the way, are EMF sensitive. We're only, some are more or less depending on where your bioenergy field is and how you handle those energies. But if you want to give yourself a break energetically, then turn all that off at night, because otherwise you're running it in your background, and some level of you is trying to process all that information, and you don't need to be doing that. Well, here we are. There's still nobody phoned in, but we're having a heck of a good time, and they're really missing out because we could have answered their questions. But, you know, the basis of dowsing is exactly what you said, is the answer is only as good as the clear question that you ask. Yeah. So the basis of dowsing is exactly the same, is getting really good at asking crystal clear questions. And most people, when they talk to me, give me a story and then they want me to respond on the story. No, I can't. I need to respond to the yes or no questions, so every story has about, I don't know, a multitude of yes, no questions, right? So this Virgo energy of taking that big gestalt, whatever that you want to figure out, and breaking it down into some clear questions, right?
Yes. And we're in a wonderful time right now because the sun, our star, is moving through the zodiac sign of Virgo, which is about analysis. And yeah, the ability to break, because that's how you fix things, right? You have to break them down, and you have to look at what's gone wrong here. But the moon is moving through the sign of Pisces. It's in the opposite part of the zodiac, and the Pisces part is about integration. The Pisces part is about putting all those little pieces together and seeing the big picture, but doing it through a very intuitive, empathic way.
Wow, so you can do what they call second order change, where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, because you're using the magic of intuition to bring the parts together, right? So
yeah,
you're taking a part with a rational mind and putting it together with your intuition.
Yeah. So anybody listening to the show right now, I would suggest all of us have some area of improvement that we can look forward to. So I would suggest everyone go to bed tonight, and before you go to bed, just say, what is the most immediate, like in terms of a question, ask yourself this question, put it out there. What is the most immediate practical thing that I can do to make my life better? See, that's a question, right?
Yeah.
A what question? What can I do right now in the next 24, 48 hours to really make, some shifts in my life? And then you go to bed, and maybe they have a pen and paper by the bed before, you go off to sleep, because the answers usually will come. Especially if you really mean it. I mean, if you're just bullshitting yourself, forget it. But if you truly mean and want to grow and make your life better, ask yourself, put that out to the universe. I swear to God, you will get a response.
Well, I have an idea for behind the curtain too, because each astrological sign has some logical questions you should be asking yourself. So for example, for Virgo is, what act can I clean up, or what structure can I put in place, or what methodology or protocol can I make to simplify my life? That's a good question. Not that what the question you just framed is a great question too. But what I'm trying to say is every astrological sign will have some 5 or 6 or maybe even 10 really good questions that will have the energy of the sign in them, which will mean that they will manifest in your dream state in a greater clarity, because you're asking the right type of question according to the astrological energies that are.
Yes, and especially right now too, because we're in the full moon energy, and the full moon energy is about illumination, right? It doesn't get any brighter than a full moon, and so literally we have that ability to have our life illuminated right now, and to see what's working and what isn't, and how you're fooling yourself. Because Virgo, remember I said Virgos you can't fool a Virgo. You can't. They just look at you like you're just full of what. And they just, the bottom line is always the bottom line with Virgos. And that's why they're so great at analysis, and they're so great at the whole diagnostic area. That's why they make such great technicians and healthcare people and plumbers and electricians. They know how to pull things apart and put them back together. And today, because the moon's in Pisces, we have the ability to really put things back together beautifully. Wow. And intuitively. So that's my speech.
Well, yeah, good speech, and we're at the top of the hour, and we're very close to it. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. We're back at the same time at the same place next week. So tune in for your astrological moon updates, and if you're brave enough to phone in, and we can help you with the clearing, help you get from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest amount of time. And in the meantime, we're going to be doing our homework and designing this wonderful opportunity for you to join us behind the curtain and have be selected for your opportunity to have a deep dive with both of us.
Right, because I'm giving away little tidbits of astrological wisdom that's taken me 60 years to learn. That will be a gift to people who subscribe.
Yeah, and I've been working on trauma busting for many, many years, so I know how to kick your butt really, really fast. So
lovely. What a team we make.
Yeah, watch out, boy. You're never going to be the same again, luckily for you. All right, bye for now. Same time, same place next week.
Bye, everybody. I love you.
Take care.